Oh, he came back.
What's up?
So wait,
People said
you
I should
want
come back here.
you want criminals to be allowed in the country?
I want
James, lock 600. Lock 600.
Well, I know you're going to say, so we define criminals as somebody who broke the law. So technically, by crossing the border, blah blah. If they have committed a violent crime in this country or previously, then no, I do not want them here. I want the process.
A violent crime?
Hold on. I want the process by which you become a legal citizen to be an easier process. I also want the conversation to be more nuanced because you right now are saying criminals this, criminals that. Did you know that illegal immigrants actually commit less crime on average than native-born Americans?
Is breaking and entering a violent crime? Answer the question.
No, not when you're talking about the border.
Yes, it is.
No, not when you're talking about the border. Because no. You're being dishonest immediately by saying breaking
crime.
and entering. No one was. They didn't breaking and there was no breaking and.
Did they break into the country and enter the country?
They illegally entered the country.
Were we occupying it when they broke in?
I want you to say those words again.
This is why I put 600.
Illegally entered.
Mm-hmm. I already said I know that you guys are going to say so. Technically, they're a criminal, and that's why
Which
I said
part about
if there is
that
a
is
violent
legal or
crime
not?
involved, then absolutely. However,
no. Stop. Just. What part about that is legal?
I didn't.
Illegally.
I never said it was
entered.
legal.
Right.
Wait, when did I say it was?
So
I didn't say it was legal. I said I want the conversation to be more nuanced because right now you guys are focused very much so on the crime and everything else, without recognizing that.
So
maybe even
if you want to open like the immigration for people and make it easier to apply to become a citizen, I understand what you're saying, and I'll follow your logic thought. Shouldn't we first stem the flow of illegals that are crossing before we can even have that conversation? Because I necessarily might not be against what you're saying.
To be clear, my argument is not hold on. I'm talking. Hold on. My argument, just to be clear, is not let's just open the border and let everybody just walk in. No, I think that we should continue
you want to make it
borders.
a little bit easier to get in.
Yeah, and also I recognize that there are definitely serious risks with just anyone just walking into the country. I am not in favor of what conservatives would say open borders or anything like that.
So how would you shut up German? What I'm
how
getting
would you
make
at
it
is,
easier?
So what I'm talking about is a lot of the times conservatives say things like the illegal immigrants, since they're here illegally, should all be deported without taking into consideration that the illegal immigrants here that haven't committed any other crimes since being here, have not been involved in any violent crimes, are also massively contributing to the economy. And
they also do jobs no one wants.
And the overall well-being of American citizens. They pay massively into Social Security, for example. So things like this, when people say, like, let's deport them or because they broke the law, I don't want to do that. I think that's silly. We should make the process easier now, though.
Should we give them rights?
Give them rights? What kind of rights are you referring to?
The right to vote, for example. Should we allow someone who does not understand American history, that doesn't understand the concept of being American, afforded the right to vote? Does that not water down all of our votes?
Could you explain what it means to be, what the concept of being an American means?
Well, I mean, first to understand the fundamentals of this country, right? To understand that we all have inherent rights given to us by our creator, which I would agree that not many Americans know nowadays, which also goes into my education topic.
What
we
if
need
they
to
don't
be more
believe that?
vocal.
Like, I don't believe that. So if I don't believe that, am I not allowed to be a citizen?
You were born here. You already made the cut, unfortunately. I believe you have the right to say stupid things.
So wait.
Does the normal immigrant who legally does the process in this country have to pass a basic citizenship test to become a citizen in the United States?
I'm not saying the people who are here illegally should have the right to vote. I think that if
I asked you a direct question and you didn't answer.
I'm not sure how the question was related. Could you repeat the question? Because I was in the middle of a different conversation.
Does a legal immigrant who goes through the legal process, do they have to do a citizenship test to become a full citizen of the United States and vote?
I want to say yes, but I feel like maybe
every single one of them do yes.
Okay, so I was never.
So in order for them to vote, they have to go through a whole process to prove that they understand basic U.S. civics.
You're arguing a point I never made. I
And
literally,
illegal
I literally never
immigrants
said anything
don't
wrong about.
have to do that, and they're proposing
We're not
illegal
talking
to
about
vote.
illegal. We're not talking about just knowing stuff. We're talking about whether or not you should have the right to vote, and whether or not the right to vote, or you should have this knowledge or this course or this. Yeah, you should know the fundamentals of America before you can vote. I never said that you shouldn't.
I just
Yeah, I was just asking. I wasn't trying to.
I would love to add on.
I was
to
responding to
should-
Turtle, to be
under-
honest. To be
Okay.
clear, sorry.
Under your proposed system, would we still have the same citizenship test?
I believe so. Sure. I don't know.
So what you're basically saying is you want to allocate more funding so there can be more people to process these applications, because that's what the holdup is.
I'm not a
so many people
policymaker. I'm not
apply
here
and
to-
they have to look through each
just to
one.
be clear, I'm not a policymaker. I'm not here to be like, what we should do first is start with this section of the border, and then. But I don't know all of that. I have a general idea of what I think would be better, because right now you're honestly what you just suggested, that would be a good place to start, probably, because a big problem
It
right
would
now
give you
is,
something to work with.
well, yeah, because a big
Hold on,
problem
you
right
don't
Yeah,
think
but
that
what is-
strengthening the border
what
right
is
now to
the
stop the
end
issue
goal?
going
Dude,
on would be the first solution?
never get me wrong. Say we fix the border crisis. Say we did whatever and they stopped coming across. If he then wanted
would
to,
love
and we
to add on
got
to
rid
this.
of the illegals that were causing problems, if we
I would
wanted
love
to
to
offer
add
a
to
little
this.
grace period and some sort of a fine that they had to pay for staying here, like a yearly fine, you have to pay this fucking much because you were an illegal immigrant in here. It's the raw slice, but we won't deport your ass as long as you didn't do like crimes and shit, right? I could almost hear his fucking case for that, right? The only issue that I would see is it would encourage more people to do it, so that then hopefully we would do it again, right?
I would
We-
love to add to this.
encouragement.
Hold on.
Wait,
We
I'm
don't want to incentivize these people,
Why?
but if we could stem the tide, if we could get the ones illegally out that were here, we would. I don't think a lot of people would be against funding the border to get paperwork accomplished quicker.
So are you?
I am not
are you
against hiring some more
legal
motherfuckers.
Immigrants?
What?
Are you against more legal immigrants coming here? Like, just to be
No,
okay.
not necessarily. If it shows the economy needs it, right?
Mhm.
I don't care if people from Peru want to fly up for a season or two to pick our vegetables. Fuck it. If we need it, we need it, right?
Okay.
I would love to add, and I've said this
But they gotta go
before,
back after.
It doesn't.
Well, yeah, a lot of them. This is the crazy part. In West Virginia, they do this whenever harvest comes along. They'll fly
doesn't
up
matter.
people from Peru. They'll make a good amount of money, pay their fucking taxes to the system, and then they'll go back. Right? That.
doesn't
I mean,
matter.
some of them might want to stay,
What
right?
if they
And
legally stay
there are
here, though?
processes to legalization, right? I mean,
I've said this before. It doesn't matter, if we build a wall or increase more funding to Border Patrol. If we truly want to address why so many people come here, right? I've said it. I'm a broken record at this point. People come here because back home, there's no jobs, there's no security, there's no opportunities,
it.
right? So of course people are going to come here. If things stabilized back home, maybe people wouldn't have a reason
that's
to
not
travel
the issue
thousands of
we're
miles.
that's not the issue we're addressing.
That's a
He
completely
asked
different
he
issue.
asked if we would be willing to expand the number of legals that would be able to enter, and I responded with, as long as we did something about the illegals first, it would be up for discussion. And I wouldn't necessarily be against it if it was proposed in such a way that it was economically viable, socially viable, right? Because we don't want to let too many in to overpopulate us, right?
Honestly,
Because then
if-
our way of life is gone.
if we could, I would be more interested to steer off this and kind of steer into the question, because you said, like, with the basic citizen test stuff involving God, and they should agree that we've all been given rights by God. What if, like, what if you don't believe in God? What if you're
Our creator.
okay? What if you don't believe in a
but
creator?
the U.S. citizenship test does not refer to God. It talks to our creator.
Yeah, but Inquisitor was
creator's pretty like broad statement.
But
like,
Inquisitor
this can
was
even apply
talking-
to something like computer simulation. like
everybody has
something
a creator.
Created you, right?
Okay.
You have to accept the
sure,
like
fine,
there's
but I
no
think that
way around
I
of.
think it was getting to a certain. I think Inquisitor at least was getting to a point, because Inquisitor, I thought
What
you were talking
I-
about changing the education. So I guess I took it as meaning far more religious. than
What
kids.
I just
No,
wonder
I think
about is
I think
what I
public
just
schooling
wonder.
not having religion is fine and dandy, right? Like I don't necessarily disagree with that as long as they stop all religion from public schools, all of
Okay.
it. And I'm not against parents teaching their children religion, right? I believe the education starts at home. I believe it is the right of the parents whether to raise them Christian or whatever, but there are inherent rights given to us by our creator that goes across every religion as long as you're not a violent off the wall religion, right?
What do
Trying
you
to
think the
oppress other
parents
people.
should teach their kids? Like, do you
No,
think
like,
the
I'm
parents
not
should
to-
teach
I
their
mean-
kids religion? I guess I should point that question.
I
out.
mean, well, I view religion as a really good guidepost on how to lead a healthy and productive life, both societally and for your family hierarchy, right?
Mhm.
I think that it's good for idiots, right? If people can't see what their problem is or they don't understand how to address their problem, religion kind of gives you those easy guideposts. That's like, as long as I do this, this, and this, I'm not gonna be a fucking drug addict waste or I'm not gonna fucking die, right?
Right. Okay, so I think we kind of agree more or less then on the religion thing.
I mean, I'm still orthodox,
You
right?
need Jesus in your life.
Because I'm not gonna say I'm above it
Oh,
all.
here we go.
I am intelligent, right? But I do need some help too.
Source.
But I was also an addict, so I can't really.
think
I
the
like how somebody
I had to
chimed in
grow a
and said-
brain.
I like
I
how
think
somebody
the
chimed in and
benefit
said,
of,
"I really
like-
need Jesus." I don't know who said
I,
that.
I think the benefit of like
Yeah, you
teaching
need 'em.
kids religion is developing someone spiritually, right? And there's a lot of mystery when it comes to that. But go Google the definition of spirit. It says the non-physical part of a person, which is the seat of emotions and character.
Mhm.
So spirituality
Okay.
literally is character development and emotional development.
I mean,
So
perhaps.
let's just call it that.
I'm
then.
not against that idea. It could be. I believe the more religious someone becomes, there's more character growth along the way, right? And even losing one's religion builds character. I mean, it might not be healthy or good character,
I used to
dependent
be-
on the person or the religion, right?
I used to be hardcore Christian. I was raised very Christian, took it very seriously until I was like 18 or 19, I think. By the time I was 20, I was really kind of falling off with Christianity, and now I'm pretty adamantly against Christianity, actually. So
I mean,
But yeah,
that's
I grew
fine,
up
but
atheist, and I slowly became more and more
I'd like to know why.
orthodox over time.
the thing is, right, like I grew up Catholic, didn't really understand much about it, went through life and then became Christian because I needed, some sort of like something to
Structure.
help, structure, right? And like it's
Yeah.
better to have structure than go through life blind and not knowing where to go or what to
Yeah, but
focus
Yeah,
what if
on.
it's
that
not so
structure
much
is-
of a guessing game, right? You get a little bit of guidance.
yeah, but
Yeah,
you,
there's
do you
utility
remember?
to religion. There's utility to religion.
But do you remember the famous words of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ when he said, "The wise man built his house upon a rock and not the sand"? I don't want my structure built on something like Christianity, which is fundamentally flawed and broken pretty much down to its roots. Whether you want to
I don't
get to
think so.
the historical accuracies or whether you want to get to the issues with the actual religion itself, God's depictions in the Old Testament and the New Testament, the contradictions, there are so many flaws there that I don't think that I could ever use it as a structure.